This is frozen, that's why it took so long to cut. What I'm doing here is putting in a temporary corner footing, essentially for the, or pier, for the porch that I'm putting on, or the shed roof, or shed addition on the back of the cabin. That deck is something I did, I can't remember when I did that last year, I think. But that 6x6 hemlock underneath here, underneath the cabin itself, it I have a piece of membrane under it, a waterproof membrane, and then I coated in pine tar, that pine tar that I made over by the fire pit 2 years ago. So that's sort of waterproof, or waterproof well enough that I'm confident that it's going to last a number of years before I need to get under there and replace that. But where it comes out past the cabin, I did not put that pine tar on it. It's supported on rocks about halfway. Well, the one this side of the cabin, and actually the hemlock is supported almost to the outside, so I'm not really worried about that one settling. It'll settle as whatever settling occurs will be this entire side of the cabin. So I don't really mind if that moves a little bit. The other side, I'm putting this temporary pillar in, but that could create a problem that if that side of the cabin sinks or raises a little bit. Although I don't anticipate much of any of that, because this is basically bedrock with gravel on top of it, stones and gravel that I put in. So it drains pretty well, and I don't think much frost, if any, gets into that. So when I put this in, it's never going to shrink this way, but it probably will move with the frost. The issue with that, because I hit a big rock, but I don't think it's bedrock when I was digging. So I'm down 27 inches, but I think what's probably going to happen, that might heave up and down a little bit as the ground freezes and then thaws again. If it does that, there's the potential that it's going to shift that whole side of the cabin a little bit. So I'm going to have to keep a close eye on it. I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue, because that side is probably half supported by stones underneath, pretty big rocks, and then gravel underneath it. But if it does shift a little bit, well, either way, I'm going to pull this out in the spring. That big rock, I'm going to reposition that, get some gravel underneath it so the water can drain and not form ice, which would shift that quite a bit. So basically what I'm saying is this is fairly temporary, what I'm doing to support that back porch. And in the spring or sometime next summer, I'm going to have to go around, I think, to all the things that I did to this cabin, and I might end up cementing some sort of pillars in each corner of the cabin, and then each of the porches like this. Oh, these are in posts, I guess they're fine. But that, and maybe the front porch. So I know it created more work for myself in the long run, but I didn't know I was doing all this stuff. I didn't plan on putting additions on this cabin, and I wouldn't be if it was just me alone. But that's kind of the fun of this homestead anyways, that I get to keep adjusting it and using new materials and trying out new techniques and stuff. So I'm happy. Anyway, I'm going to get this in, clear the snow and ice off that deck, get all that stuff moved out of the way, and then probably go in for dinner and build those walls, build that shed tomorrow. the sauna, pup. You want to stay in? I think you should stay in. This is really cold.